I'm Sean Sylver, and this is Cracked Rear View. Last week, we talked 90s movie soundtracks, the years 1990 through 1994. This week, my friend Pat Bonner and I close out the decade, the years 1995 through 1999.
So we are halfway through the decade now.
We're halfway through. 1995, another monster year for soundtracks.
Big year.
Top-loaded. Depth.
Yeah. No, 95 had a lot. You know, you had little movies with big artists on the soundtrack. There was a movie called Angus about a teenage misfit.
But it had that
new stuff from Weezer and Green Day on there.
I was looking at Angus. I saw that Ain't That Unusual by Goo Goo Dolls is tucked in there. And that was, again, like Goo Goo Dolls, like I think it's Stephen Hyden, the rock critic, was writing once in a column many years ago about Goo Goo Dolls. And he was just like, long way down. Like, give me that Goo Goo Dolls.
That's a hell of a song.
Post Long Way Down Goo Goo Dolls, like, I'm all set. But Long Way Down and before, I'm good. And like Ain't That Unusual is 95 Goo Goo Dolls. Like that's my Goo Goo Dolls right there.
I like that. That's my Goo Goo Dolls.
I love the Goo Goo Dolls for a minute there, but
I know you do.
Man.
I did. Mallrats also came out that year, more Kevin Smith, but that had another new Weezer song on it.
Oh my God, there's a great song on there. Web in Front, Archers of Loaf.
Archers of Loaf.
So good.
Of Loaf. Yep. And there's a band, never in a million years would I have discovered. My brother actually ended up big into them, you know, still into like Crooked Fingers, which is the same front man. Excellent band. But to see them on a soundtrack from 95 is, you know, it's one of those things. It's something you normally wouldn't have discovered. Also had another song from Belly, who, you know, it's just these artists you keep seeing popping up.
Yeah.
Belly was one of the openers. I actually got to go see Oasis that year when they were touring on the What's the Story Morning Glory tour. And Belly was one of the first openers. And actually Screaming Trees was another one. And then Manic Street Preachers was, you know, they came across the pond, quote unquote, with Oasis. That was a hell of a show.
What was Belly's big album? Star?
Yeah, it had right? Feed the Tree.
Feed the Tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good tune.
Other small movies that year, Greg Araki had a movie called The Doom Generation, which is a really odd. I mean, Greg Araki's stuff is very strange, but that had the Jesus and Mary chain on it, which again, you know, is one of those bands you couldn't really discover on the radio.
Yeah.
Dangerous Minds had the song of the year, probably a song that overshadowed the movie. But as you mentioned about music videos, that video opens with Michelle Pfeiffer walking in.
Yep.
In character. And
she knew what was going on.
Gangster's Paradise is still, I mean, I guess it's not still played, but it's still very well known. My son plays Amish Paradise around the house. So.
Now, I couldn't tell you whether or not Dangerous Minds was good or not. I don't feel like it was well received.
Yeah, it's more just forgettable than anything else. You know, I think Best of Intentions but there were a lot of kind of like white savior movies at the time.
Sure.
That probably don't hold up as well.
Yeah.
Tank Girl came out that year, which was, you know, kind of off the rails, Laurie Petty comic book movie. And so the whole soundtrack was this girl power kind of, Courtney Love produced it. And so it was mostly, you know, like Portishead, Hole, L7, Joan Jett, Bjork, Veruca Salt. Damn. And then, of course, there's a Bush song on there because Gavin was hot. But, yeah, I mean, soundtracks were really starting to look at different ways to get involved with the movie, I think. Kids, which is kind of a gross movie, but it had Natural One from Folk Implosion, which was an awesome song. It had a lot of Lou Barlow. He's the lead singer out of Folk Implosion, had a lot of his music on there. He also founded Dinosaur Jr., Sebadoh. But yeah, so it was almost like a Lou Barlow album.
Pat, do you include a soundtrack from a TV show in your consideration?
I don't want repeats in this episode. I know Julie, or was it Julie?
Yeah, it was Julie.
Julie picked the Friends soundtrack, which again is absolutely in and of the time, right? It had audio clips that would make you kind of feel and laugh at the show, but then it had some of the biggest bands of the time.
Was Courtney Cox in the Good Intentions video? I believe she was for Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Oh, I don't know. She might have been. They were everywhere at that time.
I feel like she might have been.
You know, the Friends actors were taking as much as, as they could, really. But that had, I mean, was REM on that soundtrack? It had Shoebox from Bare Naked Ladies, which is a great song.
Yeah.
But yes, Julie had already picked it, so I
Right.
didn't want to. No repeats.
No skips, but also no repeats.
Right. So that obviously knocks out Waiting to Exhale as well,
Yep.
which had some, sitting up in my room as a jam and a half. But
That's kind of like the other side of Tank Girl, just a loaded album of female talent,
yep,
right? Just the genre's a little different.
yep. Other ones that I did not pick from that year, Batman Forever was huge.
Oh yeah, I had
Uh,
that tape.
Pretty front loaded though, Kiss from a Rose, Kiss Me, Kill Me, Hold Me, Thrill Me there from U2.
Yep.
Not too much else. Had a really good
A lot
Flaming
of
Lips song on it.
names. Like you
Oh yeah,
got
Method
Brandy, you
Man.
got Method Man, Michael Hutchence is on there.
Nothing else really clicked. The Offspring, who I enjoy. I'm trying to think of what else. Tommy Boy had a pretty fun soundtrack full of audio clips that made many of my mixtapes. Fat Guy in a Little
Oh
Coat was
sure,
on
come
quite a
on
lot.
now. That was a radio show staple.
Yep, it kind of
Using
revived Come On Eileen.
yeah.
And it had Wait for the Blackout, which is a Goo Goo Dolls song. So,
Man, so okay, we've gone through this lineup here. There were two that I see that might be the pick.
so there's Friday was an excellent soundtrack.
Keep their heads ringing.
Keep Their Heads Ringing. It had, more original Cube. It had Cypress Hill, Scarface, and of course, audio clips of Chris Tucker. Good, but not as 90s as Empire Records, which I just, now again, it's a soundtrack for a movie about a record store, so maybe you're cheating a little bit with the amount of music you get to squeeze in there. But it just had some excellent acts on there, better than Ezra and Cracker, the Cranberries, Till I Hear It From You.
Till I Hear It From You, another big Gin Blossom song, showing that they could make hits post Doug Hopkins.
Yep. But the big disappointment with that one is that the Sugar High version did not have Renee.
Don't have Renee Zellweger singing. Yeah, totally. It's got Coyote Shivers, but not.
You just got pretty fired up.
Bright as Yellow, Innocence Mission. That's like my aunt's favorite song.
Okay.
Cranberries, Edwyn Collins, Girl Like You. I have this one, so I mean, this is.
The big one I left out was Clueless.
Are you picking Empire over
I'm
Clueless?
picking Empire Records, yeah. I realized I missed Clueless when I was running down the list. Clueless, Amy Heckerling, kind of defining another generation of teens after Fast Times.
Yeah.
But she had, another just great lineup. She had the Boss Tones in there. She had Fake Plastic Trees from Radiohead, which doesn't feel at home in Clueless, but was perfect. Counting Crows, Cracker, Supergrass.
That Cracker song, I love that Cracker song. I generally love Cracker.
Yeah. Coolio 2 for 2 on the soundtracks that year. He had Rolling with My Homies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Brittany Murphy memorializing that one there.
And then a big cover song, Kids in America, opening up the movie.
Yeah.
But no, my pick for 95 would be Empire Records. I just, that, again, sometimes it's the movie, but sometimes it's the combination. And I really just feel like that's perfect.
Another song from Empire Records, it's the first one. It's Ethan Embry. He's opening the store, and the song is called Seams by the band Queen Sarah Saturday.
Yeah.
Just a freaking rockin' song. That movie did buckus in the theaters.
Yep.
And like, I love it. I think I have the DVD. The sum of its parts make it memorable. There's just like a lot of good scenes. You got Rex Manning Day. Like, I like the movie. I just feel like it could have been a better movie. The soundtrack goes out and sells millions despite all of this.
Now, what's funny is not funny, I guess if you're a dork like me, you appreciate it. The kid who steals the money in that movie, Lucas, is it Lucas?
Lucas, yeah.
Is Rory Cochrane, who played the stoner in Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. Same guy.
Same guy, chameleon, let's say. But yeah, Rory Cochrane, love him for 90s movies, and two pretty great characters. But yeah, 95 was pretty loaded.
Yeah, no, definitely. I wonder if are we peaking here?
I think we peaked in 94.
Peaked in 94?
93, 93, 94.
Because I just think like Clueless and Empire Records from a like Clueless culturally dominated
Oh, yeah.
1995.
Yep.
And Empire Records didn't culturally dominate anything because nobody saw the movie, but the soundtrack was freaking massive and had all the bands that you wanted to be hearing at the time.
Yep.
So I could agree. I could go with 94 for peaking, but I feel like 95 also very strong. By 96, again, we got some big ones in
So
96.
96 has two of the biggest ones of the decade, and it was hard for me to pick between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
But to get some of the other ones out of the way,
Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead Do America had quite a lineup on it. Yeah, no doubt. And back White Zombie, it had Love Roller Coaster, a cover.
Yep.
The Chili Peppers.
Chili
doing
Peppers.
Stevie.
That was a big radio hit in 96. Was Dave Navarro in for that one by that time?
That I don't know off the
On
top of
Chili
my
Peppers? I feel like that would have been Dave Navarro era. They might have had One Hot Minute might have been out by 96.
head. Okay. A movie that I don't think you associate with soundtracks, but actually had a really good one was Twister.
Yeah.
It had a really good Van Halen song on it.
Yes. Humans Being.
Had Rusted Root, Soul Asylum, Belly, of course.
Yeah.
And then Long Way Down by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Yep. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham are on there as well. But yeah, long way down. And of course, Van Halen, as you know, I'm a mark for Van Halen. So, and like 95, right? The year before this is when Balance comes out.
Okay.
Which is not a super well-received Van Halen album. I guess if you're a diehard or a Sammy fan, you think it's pretty good. But it's darker, it's grungier. It's Van Halen's trying to keep up with the times.
Right.
That was the first Van Halen album that I bought like when it came out.
Is that the one that featured Pound Cake?
Pound Cake was the previous album. But that album was like 90, 91.
Okay.
I'm too young to be buying that album in 90, 91, right? So Balance was the first Van Halen album that I'm buying at the store. I was in the mall, I think at maybe Record Town or Tape World, one of those two at the Cape Cod Mall.
Yeah.
And then the Twister soundtrack comes out in 96. And I'm like, yes, more new Van Halen. And then, shortly thereafter, everything goes to hell.
Yeah.
And yeah, but at the time, Twister soundtrack.
And Humans Being featured, the video featured, Twister clips and things on it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Sammy like singing in the middle of a Twister, bad CGI.
Yep. And of course, you got a soundtrack with my all-time favorite band on it. I'm going to the theaters. I'm seeing that summer.
Yep.
Yeah, Twister was huge movie. Yep. Huge movie.
Another favorite from 96 that had a pretty good soundtrack was The Craft.
Okay.
One of my all-time favorite covers that's really not a very good version is Love Spit Love covering the Smiths with How Soon Is Now.
Oh.
Very 90s version of it. But, at the time I loved it, so I still love it now. You know what I mean? But it had Our Lady Peace covered a Beatles song on that. Letters to Cleo covered the Cars. It was a pretty strange album, but it worked.
Interesting how you mentioned the Smiths. They're going to have a soundtrack hit when the Charmed soundtrack gets released a few years later, because that, of course, was the How Soon Is Now was used as the theme song to Charmed.
Yep. A very, very 90s version of How Soon Is Now.
So massive movies in 96 that are just bringing people in.
Yep. Jerry Maguire had a decent sound, Secret Garden.
Good song.
Was obviously big, but then it was a lot more needle drops of older songs.
Right, like the Dylan song at the end.
I'm trying to see what Space Jam had. I Believe I Can Fly had Come On and Ride It from the
Yeah.
Quad City DJs.
The Hit 'Em High remix is,
Of
I mean,
course, the
like,
Monstars.
name a 90s rapper you want to hear, and it's they're in that remix. That is fantastic.
Yeah,
Love
had a
that.
pretty good Monica song too with For You I Will.
Hmm.
The Nutty Professor had a big soundtrack, a little more adult than you would think
Yeah.
for that movie.
For that movie, yeah. Jay-Z and Foxy with, a song with explicit lyrics right
Explicit
there.
title.
Yeah.
As Yet, which was like a 112 wannabe. They had Last Night, which is about the least subtle song of all time. Another good Monica song, Ain't Nobody on there.
Yep. Yep.
Real quick, some other soundtracks. Girl Six is another Spike Lee movie, and
Yeah.
Prince did the entire soundtrack. Again, Spike Lee just doing like interesting stuff. There was a really bad movie in the vein of Dangerous Minds called Sunset Park, and Rhea Perlman, who you may know as Danny DeVito's wife, or Carla from Cheers,
Carla from Cheers.
played a PE teacher in New Jersey who decides to become the head basketball coach. And but I mean the soundtrack in that, so it's like a white savior
Yeah.
urban, you know what I mean? But it had Mobb Deep, it had early Ghostface, Dog Pound, Aaliyah, Tupac on there. The soundtrack is sick, and the movie was ridiculous. But again, you get to the big movies. Crow City of Angels was, I mean, the movie was not very good. Soundtrack was great.
Wait, hold up. City of Angels is 98.
Why do I have it in here? No, no, it's 96.
City of Angels, like Iris?
No, the Crow City of Angels.
Oh. Yep. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, I know you want to get to the Goo Goo Dolls,
Jesus
so
Christ.
the Crow City of Angels had Bush, Filter, Korn, the Deftones, Seven Mary Three still riding high on their cumbersome one hit. White Zombie had a really good cover song, of
Hey,
course.
hey, hey, don't discount Water's Edge by Seven Mary 3.
You mean like everyone else does? I love the recall,
I'm
Sean.
a big supporter of the second single that wasn't quite as big as the first single, but still rocked pretty hard. Water's
Nice.
Edge is a good tune.
Again, big cover song on there. Gold Dust Woman, Hole covered it.
Yeah.
But two soundtracks that it's almost impossible to choose between, but I will. The first that I'm not choosing is the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack.
Not choosing Romeo and Juliet.
Not
Okay.
choosing it.
Oh, I think I know where you're going, but
Oh,
yeah,
you know
let's
where
hit
I'm
let's
going.
hit on let's hit on Romeo and
Romeo
Juliet
and Juliet,
because
number one crush is just
yeah,
an incredible song. And
yeah,
then you have Love Fool, the Cardigans, can't be beat.
Kissing You, a very popular ballad
Desiree, yep.
on every girl's Winamp playlist in college.
Oh yeah, it had a good a Radiohead song on there, and then it had Clips again. People
Yeah,
went nuts for that soundtrack, and I don't
yeah,
blame them. I
huge.
mean, it was the movie itself, Baz Luhrmann. It was really, it was very well done for the audience. It was intended for. It was this kind of, I hate to say the word horny, but it was a pretty horny movie for younger people. And then you put number one crush on there,
Hmm.
that it just exploded.
Hmm.
It's just such a perfect song for it, for the vibe of it. Really enjoyed it. Sorry I said horny, but I'm sticking with it.
I can't find a way to disagree with that assessment. I mean, hey, I was into Claire Danes at the time,
Yeah. For
and
me,
I'm pretty sure everybody else was into Leo. So
it's true.
there you go.
But for me, though, the number one soundtrack of my pick for 96 is Trainspotting. Um,
Oh, okay,
where did you
okay.
think I was going before we go with Trainspotting?
Well, for one, Trainspotting was, I believe, a selection by
Oh,
Jason in episode
no.
2. It was an honorable mention.
Okay, yeah, well, Jason
Um,
mentioned about 100 albums.
and I thought you might go with That Thing You Do
Oh, no.
with
No,
Adam
no.
Schlesinger of Fountains of Wayne producing an original soundtrack
True.
by an original band, right?
True. It was kind of retro pop and it worked well, but again, I just if we're talking 90s soundtracks,
Yes, yes.
it's a good movie from the 90s, but I don't consider it a 90s soundtrack.
That's true. That's true.
Trainspotting has fantastic song by my all-time favorite band, which is Pulp. It
Yep.
has a song Mile End. Perfect usage of Lou Reed's Perfect Day.
Mhm.
It's got Elastica. It's got Lust for Life, which was just, again, perfect. But
Iggy.
then it's got Born Slippy, which was kind of like electronica was really just starting to come on, or not come on, but break out. And the way they use that to end the movie, where Renton's walking away and he's giving the speech about choose life, choose a washing machine, choose it, it was just so perfect. Also, there's a Blur song on there.
Yep. New Order's in there.
At this point, I was fully immersed in Britpop, and it just, that soundtrack is absolutely perfect. And it's to one of the best 90s movies. And so that put it over the top for me over the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack.
Trainspotting, one of those movies that received multiple soundtrack releases as
Yes,
well. I think there was like a more music from Trainspotting
there was.
release
Yes. And then there
as
was like
well.
a 10th anniversary. And yeah, it just, and the movie still holds up. There are parts of other movies that it's like, yeesh, that was clearly made in the 90s, but Trainspotting is close to a perfect movie, which is weird to say when it's such a sad and gross topic, but
Yeah.
it is fantastic. So that is my pick for 1996.
All right. 96 Trainspotting. 97. I am seeing, let's just get the big cultural phenomena out of the way here. We've got Spice World. No, no. We've got Titanic,
Yep.
the highest selling. You mentioned again, like these movies where you just have a soundtrack from the film and then you throw in the hit song.
One
This
song.
is the highest selling primarily orchestral soundtrack ever. James Horner, who also scored, well, he scored everything, but he's means the most to me for Field of Dreams.
Okay.
But then you get Celine, of course, there. And Men in Black, another huge Will Smith movie,
Yeah.
popcorn flick that summer. And this one, you got the title track, obviously, but you mentioned Baby Artists getting some play. Alicia Keys on
Yes.
that, and Young Destiny's Child as well.
Yes. Very young Destiny's Child. What's funny about Men in Black is, like you said, big popcorn flick. It's also got a lot of like harder artists on there.
Yeah.
And the tone is all over the place. Like if you buy it for Will Smith and then you're listening to like Nas or something like that, it's a very strange collaboration. But yeah, Genuine's on there. Tribe Called Quest. You mentioned Destiny's Child really early. De
Mm-hmm.
La Soul, who I
De
love.
La's there. Yep.
Yep. But a strange soundtrack. Going to movies that had not greatest hits, but maybe set in another time and don't feel of the 90s. Grosse Point Blank is an all time soundtrack.
Oh,
Absolutely fantastic.
that is so strong. And among all the songs on there that are great, but like, I love that Let My Love Open the Door remix on
Yep.
there. And you got Under Pressure, which is probably a top 10 all time favorite song for me.
Okay.
And another one that had multiple soundtrack releases
Yes.
too.
Yep. And it also, the needle drops in it worked like Mirror in the Bathroom. We
English
have like the
Beat,
fight
yeah.
with the assassin is just, it's an awesome scene. Richard Linklater, the guy who did Dazed and Confused, had another tiny movie that year, Suburbia, but it had a lot of really great artists on it, but nothing really broke through. It had Beck on there, Sonic Youth,
Hmm.
Elastica, Butthole Surfers, which is
Yeah.
so weird to just say that and people know what you're talking about.
Hey,
Flaming Lips,
on that note, can we go back to the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack album cover where they're wearing the
they got the
t-shirts and they
t-shirts with the
have
bands,
and Butthole Surfers and Gigolo aunts
Gigolo Aunts.
prominently displayed on the t-shirts.
Yep, Gigolo Aunts, pretty
That's,
good song too, I believe.
yeah. We didn't even talk about Dead Eye Dick on there. New
Oh,
Age Girl, right?
New Age Girl was just a fantastic song.
Too Much of a
Um,
Good Thing, also a good song by the Suns on that.
mhm.
But yeah, we'll little detour to 94.
That's fine. I mean,
It's my prerogative to take it. But yeah, Butthole Surfers also in 1997. Still, I don't know if they're living off of pepper or what, but they're hanging in there.
Yep. And you had another couple movies come out that were hip hop heavy soundtracks where the movies didn't land, but the soundtracks had a couple pretty good songs. Money Talks, which was a Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker movie,
Oh wow, yeah.
had Feel So Good, which came out before Mace's album dropped.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was the debut of Feel So Good.
Wow,
And we all
$10
appreciate Mace.
signee. Yep.
Yep. There was a movie called Nothing to Lose with Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence
Hmm.
that had See You When They Get There. I believe that was Coolio. Another big hit. Lil Kim song, Not Tonight.
Hmm.
So there were
Hmm.
these,
Yep.
these kind of smaller movies that had these pretty good hip hop soundtracks. Scream 2 came out that year,
Yep.
which, if you watch Scream 2, everyone who was, trying to be hip and popular at the time is shoehorned in that movie,
Uh-huh.
or at least that generation. Sarah Michelle Gellar has a small part in it. Joshua Jackson, obviously Pacey, has a
Hmm.
small part in it. There are a lot of people who just wanted to be part of Scream 2 after Scream was such, a huge hit and became part of the zeitgeist, that if you look at Scream 2, it's jammed with bands trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray, Dave Matthews Band, Collective Soul, Foo Fighters, Tonic, Everclear.
I have previously stated there will be no collective soul slander on this podcast.
I very much enjoy Collective Soul.
All
Don't you
right.
worry. I'm just saying, all these people were trying to jump on the hype train with Scream.
They'll be at the Cape Cod Melody tent this summer, Pat, if you want to go.
We talked about Spawn earlier because
Yep.
the soundtrack was that kind of collaborative. It birthed Trip Like I Do, which is an awesome Filter and Crystal Method song. But then it had a lot of others that just didn't work. Marilyn Manson and the Sneaker Pimps, Orbital and Kirk Hammett
Metallica.
from Metallica.
Yeah.
So, Trip Like I Do is worth it on its own, but a lot of people bought the Spawn soundtrack hoping for more Judgment Night vibes. At least that's what I tell myself.
Funny with a lot of these soundtracks, I saw like a meme going around, and it was, how you can add music to like your Instagram post,
Yeah.
and it was soundtrack to Deep Blue Something's, what the hell was that song?
Deep Blue Sea?
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, not a deepest bluest. My hat is like a shark's fin.
Talk about one of the worst. That's such a bad song.
Deep Blue Something's Breakfast at Tiffany's,
Yes.
and the text of the Instagram post is basically like, you went to the store buying an album off of one single,
It's
and the
true.
rest of the album is just complete crap.
Yep. That's true.
Some of those soundtracks that we've mentioned so far just
Oh, yeah.
totally hit that. But again, you got a 4-for-1 offer, right? And Dad's giving you a pick.
That's
Hey,
right. You
I
can
can
pick up the
be fast and loose.
American Werewolf in Paris soundtrack because it had the Bush mouth remix on it, which was a pretty great song.
Look at
Uh,
you.
but yeah, not too much else to that soundtrack. Boogie Nights came out that year, but again, that's like that
Yeah,
kind of
it's a
curated
hits. Yep.
mixtape. I'm not a huge Elliott Smith guy, so I didn't love the Good Will Hunting soundtrack.
Okay, so I know where you're going then. I know I figured it out.
Do you?
Set it off.
Ooh, I that wasn't a pick. That is a very, very good
Okay.
soundtrack. Had a lot of hits too, right?
It's not Set It Off.
It's
Oh,
not.
wait a minute. Now I know where you're going.
Guess again.
You're a movie guy, so it's going to be the David Lynch film.
Lost Highway is my pick. It is, but it's partially because Trent Reznor put it together.
Yeah.
It's such an odd. You get David Bowie doing "I'm Deranged." The Perfect Drug is a really good song. It's got a terrible cover on it. It's got a really bad Marilyn Manson cover of "I Put a Spell on You,"
Oh,
which
God.
you think, okay, maybe he can make this. No, it's awful. But it's
Yes.
got "I" by Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
It's a great, great soundtrack. And there weren't any like, this is absolutely it. You could talk me into Set It Off, You Could Talk Me Into, Grosse Point Blank, just as overall superior.
Mhm.
But for 97, for me, Lost Highway it's a pretty great soundtrack. So that is my pick.
Nice. Okay. 1998.
98.
You alluded to this. These are becoming more vehicles by
Oh,
this point, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, you look, Small Soldiers, which I mentioned
Yep.
earlier, right? It had, it was taking classic rock songs and then remixing them by hip hop artists. So, like another one, Bites the Dust, but Wyclef over it. It just, it didn't work in it, and it seemed cheap, and it,
One time.
yeah, it just wasn't any kind of collaboration. It was
Right.
just these weird, Love is a Battlefield with Pat Benatar and Queen Latifah. That doesn't work. Maybe it would, but it wasn't an original song. It was like, let's add this person over this person.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard this one, but that doesn't sound particularly, no.
There was a song on it called War.
It's half-assed.
It had Bone Thugs, Henry Rollins, and Tom Morello. Oh, and
Oh,
Flea.
okay.
But it was just odd. It just felt super forced, like they were trying to do it to recapture. I don't know. If you were looking for something with a little more edge to it, or collaborations, the Godzilla soundtrack came out that year.
Yeah, let's go. I had that
Um,
tape. And
yeah.
yes, I bought a tape in 1998. You know what I liked is there was a golf course near my house in East Dennis. There were like these trails you could kind of run on. So, I'm like trying to get in shape for whatever sport I'm playing, probably basketball.
Or if
And
you're trying to take a girl to a Van Halen concert.
get in shape to take a girl to a Van Halen
I
concert?
don't know. You got to look good, and you've told that story on the pod before. So
Well, I was not looking good in 1998. It was a rough situation, but I'm trying to be in shape. I got my Walkman, I've got my Godzilla tape, and I'm running through the freaking woods listening to Come With Me. Like
oh,
just,
just getting
I gotta
pumped up,
climb, I
right?
gotta get up these hills here. I gotta build these calves so I can dunk next season, right?
That's right. Look,
That song just got me hyped. No Shelter by Rage.
that is a fantastic song. It's got a cover, of course,
Yep.
the Wallflowers covering
Heroes, yep.
Bowie.
Pretty good. Pretty good job on that,
Yeah.
covering Bowie.
One notable band on there you probably don't remember is Fuzz Bubble.
I
They
remember
were
seeing it on there, yeah.
the first rock band signed by Bad Boy, and so it's
Really?
pretty clear that Puff
Okay,
forced them onto the soundtrack
sure.
to
You want
get
Come
them
With Me, you're
buzz.
gonna do Fuzz Bubble.
Exactly. 98 had some pretty good ones though. The Faculty was a
Oh,
Kevin
yeah.
Williamson movie.
What was the big one from The Faculty?
Class of
They
'99, which was
Yes! Another brick in the
uh,
wall.
another brick in the wall. Yep.
Oh,
And
man.
that was a super group, right? Collaborating for this cover, and it was very, a synth is edgy kind of
Mhm.
'90s rock. Put Jerry Cantrell on something, and I'll take it. So, but that
Yeah.
soundtrack also had "The Kids Aren't Out Right" by The
Offspring,
Offspring.
yep.
Had some Creed, had some Soul Asylum, covering "Schools Out."
Yeah.
Also had Oasis, "Stay Young," and an original from Sean Mullins. Speaking of the '90s.
Wow. Sean
Mm,
Mullins of Lullaby fame.
yep. Rockabye. Excuse you.
Excuse me, Rockabye.
Was
Yeah,
it?
no,
It might have been called Lullaby, but
no, it was
we all know
yeah.
it as Rockabye.
Whatever it is. Sean Mullins. He had another good song later in his career, Beautiful Wreck, that I
Sure, he
enjoyed.
did.
He did.
According to you,
Yeah, according to me.
the second song hero.
Probably heard it on WBOS or one of those stations. I see here the Rush Hour soundtrack, which freaking Can I Get a with Jay-Z and
Yep.
Ja Rule, who was at that point credited as just Ja,
Yep.
J-A-H. It
Yep.
was not Ja Rule, baby.
Also had How Deep Is Your Love with
Yeah,
Drew Hill and Redman, which is
freaking
a great song.
Drew Hill at the peak powers there right before Cisco splinters off.
Yep.
But yeah, they were huge. Obviously, that movie also huge.
Oh yeah, Rush Hour was enormous.
98, we're talking MTV Summer Share at Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Like,
Yep.
and just all these songs, man,
I'm
coming
trying to
back.
see what else here. Something About Mary brought back Build Me Up Buttercup. You know, it
Yep.
kind of revived that one. The Wedding Singer was all pretty great 80s songs,
Hmm.
but again, doesn't really fit here. Can't Hardly Wait was a great soundtrack.
That's my
Um,
pick for that year. I
Feeder's High is still one of my favorites. So,
oh
like, just such a great 90s mix. Blink 182, Missy Elliott.
yeah, damn it. Third Eye Blind Graduate kicks it off.
Yep.
You've got, of course, The Mouth is here with Can't Get Enough of You, Baby.
Yep.
But then you got,
The
like
Mouth.
The Mouth, and then you've got mixed in here Parliament Funkadelic Flashlight, It's Tricky, and Paradise City as like your
Yeah.
staples.
Yep.
That's another movie that I feel like, I don't know, I love watching it. Kind of like Empire Records. Bonkers cast.
Even small parts in that movie. Jason Segel like
Yeah.
runs in and out of that movie with a watermelon.
Yeah, he's a stoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that movie I saw the day I finished my last final for high school.
There you go.
So I
There you
mean,
go.
come on, that's on the list forever.
That was another one. Me and tapes. I stayed way too long with tapes, but a friend of mine, she had Can't Hardly Wait CD, and I was just like, "Can I borrow that? Can I borrow that? Because we're gonna be taping that." And that thing,
Yeah.
that tape, I think I still have that tape somewhere. It's a Maxell.
Was it a Maxell Black? Like, were you really serious about it?
No, no. I again, miserly. We're balling on a budget here, but that tape was in the Ford Tempo in the early years of me driving for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Great
you picked up
soundtrack.
these soundtracks and you had a mixtape. You know, you didn't have to put it together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Bulworth came out that year. Only movie I've ever
Oh,
fallen asleep at. It's one of
really?
the, oh, it's a terrible movie.
But the song,
The
freaking
song "Ghetto
major
Superstar."
hit.
Oh my God, yeah. But I mean, if you don't haven't seen the movie, then you don't remember Warren
No.
Beatty rapping at the end of it, which
Oh
is,
God.
ooh, it's terrible.
Oh God.
Um,
Were you sleeping for the rap?
no, unfortunately, I
You were
woke
awake
up.
for the rap.
Yeah. Hell of
Uh,
a soundtrack though, and I mean, really blew up. Dr. Dolittle had a pretty good soundtrack. It had "Are You That Somebody" from Aaliyah,
oh,
"Same Old G" from Genuine.
oh, so good.
I mean,
Even though I got my own CD. Oh
Great
man.
Expectations was not great by any stretch, but it had a Pulp song.
Hmm.
So obviously I had
You
the
were there.
soundtrack. Tori Amos, Chris Cornell, Duncan Sheik, Scott
Oh
Weiland
yeah.
did a solo song for it. It's a better song than movie.
We got Armageddon
Oh,
this year with
that's
a
still one of the worst songs in my.
it's a number one. It's a Diane Warren, right? A
Oh,
Diane
it's a
Warren composition.
huge song, and I find it to be one of the
Massive.
most boring songs of all time. But you come down to two soundtracks for
Okay.
my pick of the year. Coming in second, I guess, would be City of Angels, which is
Oh.
just a fantastic soundtrack. I mean, Iris is, it outlived the movie, I guess, but I mean, you can remember the original video. It
In the
also had
video.
If God Will Send His Angels from U2, which is a great song. Alanis had Uninvited on there. They used Sarah McLachlan's Angel, which wasn't written for that, but
Oh
works
yeah.
very well. You know what's funny is I just found out is that Angel was written, she wrote it because she was so upset about the keyboardist from Smashing Pumpkins that died on
Yeah.
the road. I didn't know
Yeah.
she wrote it for him.
Yeah. No, I read that somewhere that was the reason.
Right. But now it's
Yeah.
associated with the MSPCA. So,
It's associated with dogs. Yep.
yep. But City of Angels, great soundtrack. Not my pick, though. Do you know my pick?
Interesting. I think I know your pick because of Britpop.
Oh, all right. What do you think?
This is something that I had to look up because
It is not,
I
but it's not Velvet Goldmine.
it's not Velvet Goldmine
Um,
because I was looking it up and I was like, what is this? I have no
yeah.
idea what this is. Okay, it's not Velvet Goldmine.
Really interesting the way
Is
they
it
went
the
about.
X-Files movie soundtrack?
No, Velvet Goldmine is interesting because Bowie wouldn't give him the rights to his music, so they had these songs written for quote unquote new bands, and like Radiohead
Oh
performed,
yeah,
Suede,
Radiohead.
Roxy Music, Sonic
Right.
Youth. No, my favorite soundtrack of that year is a very bad movie called Belly, which
Oh,
was Hype Williams
yeah.
directed it. He was a big
Isn't
music video
isn't
director.
Nas in that movie?
Nas and DMX are in it, and
Okay.
it's really more about style than anything else. None of them can really act, but it's got some of the best music from that year. It's got a song called Top Shotter, Moving Out, which has Raekwon and Noriega.
The super thug
It's
himself.
got Gangstar's Militia 2, Devil's Pie from D'Angelo, Grand Finale, which has Nas and DMX on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an awesome hip hop album for a very, very bad movie. I mean, the movie looks cool. It's got a lot of flashes of kind of fun and interesting cinematography, the way that, Hype Williams used to shoot music videos.
Yeah.
But it was never a movie worth making. But the soundtrack is absolutely best of the year for 1998.
I'll throw another one out there because you mentioned Spike a few times, but the Public Enemy doing "He Got Game."
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. Spike again. Like every time he comes up with a movie, he's got something new and interesting, and that is not. I don't think that's a great song from Public Enemy.
Covering for what it's worth, right?
Yeah, yep. Again, let's do a cover.
I got game. He got game. She
Oh
got game. We
yeah,
got game. They got game. I was into it in '98. I was
there you
calling up.
go.
I was calling up Jammin' 94.5 at night, being like, because that's when I could hear Jammin' 94.5 on the Cape. You had to
Yep.
get nighttime, good signal. Can you play He Got Game?
Yeah, they were so at that point in the summers, I was working landscaping at a golf course, and I would listen to the morning show.
Yep. Yep.
That definitely played.
Balthazar and Pebbles. All right, we have reached the conclusion of the 1990s. Y2K fear is running amok, and we're still putting out soundtracks. I mean, I've got
They're fading though. They're fading. They're not. I don't know. They seem a little by 99. I feel like
yeah,
they're a little more packaged. I mean, there's some very good soundtracks with good music, but I don't think it's what it was.
right. And this came up the other night when I was hanging out with some friends. The Varsity Blues soundtrack.
Yep.
Green Day, Nice Guys finished last. Foo Fighters, My Hero, and Collective Soul with Run, which is another favorite of mine. Van Halen's Hot for Teacher popping up in there, as well as you gotta have
Yep.
that for the movie Varsity Blues, right?
That's right. She's at 10.
And She's All That with Sixpence None the Richer, Kiss Me,
That's
and
right.
right about now, the Funk Soul Brother Booyah!
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother Booyah!
The Rockefeller Skank. That's
Fat
right.
Boy Slim.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah, I mean there were some that had like a song here. Like Man on the Moon had The Great Beyond, which was a great song.
Right? And the title track.
You mentioned LL Cool J's Deepest Bluest off of the Deep Blue Sea soundtrack, which is oof. But Blue Streak was a
Oh, yeah.
Martin Lawrence that had Girl's Best Friend, which is a great Jay-Z song, really
The
fun
Jigga
beat.
Man. Yep.
Yep, it's got the Cash Money Millionaires on there, Foxy Brown, 69 Boys. Like, it's a hip hop album, like a
It's fun.
mixtape, and it's really good.
That's fun. I was just thinking of a song here, and it's from the movie Teaching Mrs. Tingle.
Ooh, that's a Kevin Williamson written movie where they're planning on killing their teacher.
It had Katie Holmes and the older brother from Seventh Heaven, Barry Watson.
Okay.
And Helen Mirren's the teacher. I'm on Wikipedia, obviously, right now. I did not see this, but the song is Got You Where I Want You by
Oh,
The Flies.
Now, The Flies, that song was also on Disturbing Behavior, which is really strange because Disturbing Behavior had Katie Holmes as well.
Oh, shit. Oh, maybe I confused the two.
Who did you
Okay.
miss?
I confused my Katie Holmes joints here. So
Ah,
wait, Disturbing Behavior might have been 98, but either way, the point is it was a Katie Holmes movie and it had Got You Where I Want You by The
okay.
Flies.
Okay. Yes. I mean,
Great song.
great song.
I
Yep.
wouldn't say it's quite as good as High by Feeder, but it's like, for me, it's like in that category as I don't know anything else by this band, but that's a freaking great song.
Right. There is nothing else on that soundtrack either, which is funny for disturbing
Disturbing
behavior. That
Behavior.
is. Yep.
1998. Okay, so that was a
That was
year ago.
98.
Got it. Got
No
it.
big deal. The Wild Wild West soundtrack. Oof.
Hey, that song was big.
Will Smith could do no wrong at that point until he
Big
did
Will,
Wild Wild
Drew
West,
Hill.
I guess.
Big Will, Drew Hill. Ha 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 ha. Bilamos is on there.
Yes, it is. Which, we like Enrique.
Yeah, and the first appearance of Lil Bow Wow and the first appearance of Miss Jill Scott.
Wow. Yeah, never huge on that soundtrack, but
I didn't have it again. Just this is
okay.
you do a dive into that
Right.
soundtrack and you're like, okay, yeah, I remember the Wicked Wild Wild. I remember Bilamos, right? Who doesn't remember Bilamos from the Latin invasion of 1999?
That's right.
When J-Lo was on the Six.
Oof.
And we were living La Vida Loca.
There was let's see here, a Doug Liman movie called Go, which was all in one night kind of Pulp Fiction style,
Yeah.
intersecting storylines.
Remember that?
And that had Steal My Sunshine, which
Len
blew up. Yep, it had a great Magic Carpet Ride remix on there.
I
Even had
remember
an
that.
Eagle Eye Cherry song. He was still sticking around from like 10 years earlier.
What are you talking about 10 years earlier? He was Save Tonight was 98.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of Nina Cherry, his sister.
Nina Cherry, his sister, right. Right.
Yep, Eagle Eye
Buffalo
had a song
Stance.
on Go. No Doubt did an original song. It was a fun movie, but I'm trying to think of what else. Jawbreaker was a Heather's kind of ripoff, had Letters to Cleo and the Donnas, kind of girl power soundtrack.
I was going to say, you want to talk about girl power or Letters to Cleo?
Not yet. No, I don't.
No? Oh, we're going to save that.
Well, that's one of the
Is that it?
Top
That's
ones.
the one? We'll push that. We'll push that aside. Yeah.
South Park, the musical, amazing songs, but can't qualify. Drive Me Crazy had maybe the best Britney song on it.
Wait a minute. Was there another great song off of Drive Me Crazy? I got to look this up.
Well, it had a Jars of Clay song that was pretty good, and it had It's All Been Done from Bare Naked Ladies.
Okay. Where are we here? Oh, the Phantom Planet song on that.
Oh,
I like
Phantom
that.
Planet.
I like that. Then that's Phantom Planet pre having the OC song, right?
That's true, yeah.
Well before the OC.
Oh, the OC. Love it. The Matrix was huge that year.
Yep.
And, a lot of electronica, but also had the Deftones, My Own Private Summer on there, which is just, and then Rage closed out the soundtrack, which was awesome. Or closed out the movie. And I think they made it the last song on the soundtrack, too. American Pie was a great soundtrack.
Yes.
Third Eye Blind, Tonic, Dishwalla.
The Walla.
Yep.
Oh, man, I love the Walla.
Of course you did. What was their second song, though?
Oh, come on. Miss Emma Peel and All She Can See. And yes, I do own their follow-up full LP, And You Think You Know What Life's About from 1998.
Of course you do. I love it.
The Walla.
Yep.
Josh Radnor on How I Met Your Mother is not the only person who can claim to be a Dishwalla fan.
Well, he stole that from Lily, so.
That's that's true.
It's true.
Well, they got to talk to the 1 Cent Club about Dishwalla fandom here.
Yeah, that's true. So that leaves two movies for the year, which I think were kind of neck and neck for the best soundtrack. You have 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fantastic. Letters to
Awesome.
Cleo, right? With a big cover on there. Want You to Want Me.
And Cruel to Be Kind.
Cruel to Be Kind. You have
They do
Save
both.
Ferris, Sister Hazel, the Cardigans popping up with Not Love Fool, and a song I can't remember.
Yeah, it was there. Semisonic on the soundtrack.
Semisonic is on there. Surprisingly,
It wouldn't be the late 90s without Semisonic. Another band who, Singing in My Sleep, great number 2 song, does not get his credit. Okay. Everyone just says Closing Time, but
there you go.
Semisonic.
Not featured on the soundtrack itself is obviously Notorious. She does that scene where she's dancing on the table. but I'm guessing they couldn't spring for it on the soundtrack. I love the Letters to Cleo songs on there. I just overall feel like the soundtrack for Cruel Intentions is stronger overall. You have a great Counting Crows song on there, Colorblind,
Yep.
some Fatboy Slim, and the Verve closing it out with Bittersweet Symphony. It was just, at the time, I feel like it was, or even now, just a better 90s kind of one of those, not coming of age, but 90s teen aimed movies. And I thought the soundtrack was stronger overall. So I would go Cruel Intentions over 10 Things I Hate About You.
Cruel Intentions over 10 Things. Oh, man. Yeah, it really does stand out. There are 2 soundtracks this year, and that's pretty much it. Like you said, we're cooling off here on these things, and
yeah, I mean, the Blur was on that soundtrack as well. It wasn't, a very memorable song, Coffee and TV, but like,
Craig Armstrong composition on there. I think that was an instrumental. This Love, I feel like was another, kind of good.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing on here that I would like die on a hill for, like I would for uh, for Trainspotting or
Judgment Night,
Judgment
right?
Night. Yeah,
but we had to. Hey, we did the decade.
We did, and you can see where it peaked and where it kind of, just became more of an equation. I don't see any of these soundtracks from 99, 98 where it's the people making the movies kind of like really ushering the soundtrack along as well. It didn't even feel that way on Jerry Maguire. What was that, 96, 97?
Yeah.
That it wasn't, it certainly wasn't the same Cameron Crowe from Singles that it was on that. So Singles was a lot more down and dirty. And
are you changing too? Do you feel like, think about it, right? By this point, you're no longer video to go. You've got Napster now, right? And a high speed internet connection.
Oof, well, maybe.
So at college, right?
Yep. And if you're lucky, you make a friend with a CD burner.
Yeah.
Yep. And one thing I will say, you were talking with, it wasn't Dan, the musician, the Grammy voter, buddy.
The other Dan.
Oh, okay.
2 Dans.
I'm right. So you were speaking with Dan about, Napster and LimeWire, things like that. And I was shocked, appalled, and upset that you did not bring up the Dave Matthews Crash Into Me hip hop remix that everyone our age had downloaded from one of those sites.
Yeah, so good, and yet no idea who made that. Just no idea, because again, in the file sharing, in the file sharing era, there was just, they would put down maybe you'd find it, say DJ Premier Crash remix, because
you can probably find 50 different versions now on YouTube. It's the same exact song, but it's credited to 100 different people.
Whoever they thought.
Yeah,
Fatboy Slim probably was credited for it. Just whoever you could think of.
Right.
But yeah, that was a great one. That was a good mixtape inclusion for sure.
Yeah, but I mean,
mixed CD inclusion.
I look at it, the soundtracks, and you can see where they were a lot more part of the movie or part of the experience than they were by the end of the decade. And everything changed with, like you said, high-speed internet, access to everything. You didn't need to hear something and then go figure out where you could find it. You could, I mean, not at that point, you could Shazam it, but you could very easily look things up on the internet.
Google some lyrics.
Yeah.
There was, back in those days, you didn't have Genius, right? But they had like...
you could maybe ask Jeeves.
Yeah. They had lyrics websites back then. I remember, trying to, like I would drive back from winter break or whatever, and I'm like driving back from Cape Cod, going up 495 to Stonehill.
Yep.
And I'm listening to like Sunday night radio, which is, like a ghost town, but also a great place to find new music sometimes on certain stations. And I'd just be driving along, and I had one of those like, a little notebook with a wire bound, whatever it's called. and just like trying to write lyrics on the console, that I heard because I don't know what the song is,
Yep.
and then getting back to my dorm room and firing up the old compact laptop and trying to look up the names of the songs.
I will tell you one of my great, this is completely off topic, but you bring up the radio, you bring up lyrics. One of my greatest music memories, because I love the radio. I would love listening to the radio. I was a big FNX guy back in the day.
Yeah.
And I loved Paul Driscoll. Paul Driscoll, would break new music later in the night. And I was driving, it was probably 10 p.m., something like that, on a Thursday night. And I'm listening as I'm driving, but I'm also watching exits, and he introduces this song, this new music, and he plays it. I didn't catch the name of it, and it's Mr. Brightside. And he said, this is, the first time it's being played in Boston, all these things. And I'm like, oh my God, like I hear the song. Now I don't know the name of it. I don't know the artist. I missed all of that. And I hear this song and I'm like, oh my, like I love this song. And it comes back to Paul Driscoll. And he said, how good was that? We should probably play it again, which was like a Paul Driscoll thing to do.
Yeah.
And so he introduced it again and he played it and I like pulled over and wrote it down.
Right.
And
right.
Yep. So all credit to Paul
man.
Driscoll. He was the greatest with his, because he would bring in stuff from all over. And yeah, I loved listening to FNX. Obviously nothing to do with any of this, but it was funny the way radio shapes you, or the way music, movies, any of that stuff shapes you. I'm a huge Killers fan to this day.
1,000%. I mean, I'm always here for some FNX recollections in this space. Some BCN recollections. Anything radio related. I mean, again, I made this a part of my career and my life now, being on the radio, and grew up dreaming of doing that, and that's why you get to kid me and call me Robbie Montana now.
That's right. Well, you are Robbie Montana from now on. And I am the founding member of the 1 Cent Club. So,
Pat, I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for, I want to use the term correctly here, but you really schooled me in a lot of ways. And that's the reason that I had you in, just like to talk about these movies and the meaning of this stuff. I've really wreaked havoc on your vocal cords here by doing this 2-part episode.
Well, I hope I've been trying with the water, but I hope it doesn't come through too bad.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is fun. I think the people listening will have a similar good time. And you're one of those people, because you're my boy. We're gonna have you back sometime, so we'll do it again.
Anytime, Sean. This has been a lot of fun. I obviously very much love the movies. I love going back and pulling disturbing behavior out of the air after,
yes,
26 years or however long it's 28 years. I'm not very good at math right now, but yeah, no, I mean, I could talk about these old bad movies all day. So anytime.
That's why we love you. Thanks again, Pat.
Thanks a lot, Sean.
Pat's picks include Empire Records, Trainspotting, Lost Highway, Belly, and Cruel Intentions. Music by Ceramic from their EP, Somebody Like That. You can find Cracked Rear View on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube. Follow Cracked Rear View Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Sean Sylver.